What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is Cobra Kai Season 3. First thoughts and ending explained. Without a shadow of a doubt, this was the best season of Cobra Kai to date. Before we get into this, if you can help a brother out by subscribing and clicking that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new review video, and we'll be going to great details about Cobra Kai and what we think is going to happen in the upcoming season. So when breaking down Cobra Kai, without a doubt this show has the perfect blend of campiness, of nostalgia value. This is what the CW doesn't do right. That's why they need to take a look at Cobra Kai, because that's what they're trying to do on the CW, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Arrow, Flash, all those shows. This is those shows done right, and the people who make this show should be commended for it. Is a lot of it corny? Is a lot of it cheesy? Yes, of course it is. But that's what makes it special. And a lot of it is old 80s corny and cheesiness, which fits this show perfectly. But there are two underlining factors that make this show a success. And they've been using these elements ever since the first Karate Kid movie came out. And that's why it works. In this season, they stress this totally. Number one is mentorship, right? We see from this season that if you have a bad mentor in your life, especially if you're a young child, how they can steer you down the wrong path. And if you have the right mentor, how they can steer you down the right path. We've seen this in the beginning with Daniel, and how Mr. Miyagi was the perfect mentor for him. He taught him how to become a man. He taught him not to be afraid. He taught him everything he used to be successful in his life, and that's why his life was successful. When you look at Johnny, you've seen that his mentor was Kreese, and we've seen how Kreese put him down the wrong path, to the point where even when he got older, his life became shit because of it. And even when we look back in the flashback with Kreese, which I thought they did a great job, because they tried to set it up in the beginning to make you think that Kreese was the guy in the Letterman jacket, but he turns out to be the cook. And we've seen how he was a good guy. He had the love of his life. He went off to fight in the war like any honorable person would do. But while he was there, he had a terrible mentor. And this is what shaped him and put him on his path to becoming everything that he became later on in life. Now, I do like the fact that when you do see him, and he had to eventually fight his mentor over the snake pit, just like Ravna Lothbrok got dropped in the snake pit. That's what they're trying to do there. And give you a reason why Cobra Kai got its name. But he used no mercy on this man, because when he did have mercy a little bit earlier, that's how they all got caught, and they all got taken captive and put in this situation after. Now, the other thing that they truly do a great job in this show in explaining why everything turns out the way it is and what you have to do. The other thing is, you cannot live in the past. You have to let things go. The rivalry between Ralph Macchio's Daniel's son and Johnny, they just don't let it go. It always comes back. This is something from kids to adulthood. They are still jealous of each other, and they still hate each other for reasons that are out of their control. And them being the new mentors to these kids, it all spills over. Their own rivalry spills over to these kids, which eventually allows Cobra Kai to be taken back over and out of Johnny's hands. Now, they do a great job at explaining exactly this when Daniel's son goes back to Okinawa and he is reunited with Kumiko, and she eventually reunites him with Chosen. Now, we know that Chosen once tried to kill Daniel, and they put it out there in the beginning like he's still bent up on this anger. He's still has, Danielson all over his mind. He has never gotten over the past. But in the end, we realize he has gotten over that. And that's why he's willing to help him. And it was great that the fact that they did a 360, brought you all the way back, that the little girl that Daniel saved in the big hurricane turned out to be the girl that helped save his car dealership. I like the way they did that. I like seeing all these old characters. Now, when you contrast that with Johnny and him getting in contact with Allie, and Elizabeth Shue is in this season, you see that Johnny just wasn't over the past. He was trying to go back and relive the past. And I tell people all the time, especially people around my way, you can always go home, but you can never go back. You know what I'm saying? And that is Johnny's biggest problem. That was what he finally worked through this season, is that he's done living in the past. He's ready to move forward and live in the future. That is why when you see Daniel's son, what works for him, he got married. He has kids. He's living a good life. He's living his best life. Johnny was always stuck in the past. And even though he had a woman that he was interested in, he still went back to Allie thinking that things would be the way they were. They could rekindle what they had. But in the end, it's great to take a trip down memory lane. But in the end, you have to move forward. And I think that they did a great job with expressing that and showing that. And to me, truly, the highlight of the season is all these old characters coming back and them telling that exact story. You see the 360 degrees when at the end, Cobra Kai is now manned by all of the original bullies. They are all together, and all the people who did separate and join Cobra Kai and went against Daniel and all that people, they have now all reunited together. So everyone is back where they first started with, and now we're going to have a tournament that's supposed to decide the fate of both dojos. One's going to win, and the other one's going to have to retire. And before that happens, we see Freeze make a phone call to a soldier that was with him, who told him that, hey, if you ever need me for the rest of my life, I will be here for you. And without a doubt, this soldier has to be Terry Silver, which brings us 360 degrees back to Karate Kid 3. We see exactly why Silver is in debt to Kreese. Now, if you don't remember the plot of Karate Kid 3, it is when John Kreese was still mad that he lost to Ralph Macchio and Mr. Miyagi, so he brings in Silver. Kreese then has this ringer going there and rob Daniel's son of his champion. Mr. Miyagi then refuses to train Daniel's son, so he goes and gets a new mentor, which is Silver, but he doesn't realize that he's down with Kreese. And that's basically what happens to them, or what happens to Daniel's son in Karate Kid 3. Again, the theme of mentors leading young kids astray. That is what makes the Karate Kid and now Cobra Kai successful, playing on that same element over and over again. And now adding the fact that you can't live in the past, you have to go forward. That's Kreese's big thing. He's still living in the past. That's why he's going to bring back his old boy, and they're going to be stuck in the past again. And that is why eventually they will fail when it's all said and done. But I want you to tell me what you thought about this season. What was the best parts of this season for you? And what do you think is going to happen next season? I do believe that there's a good chance this will be the last season that's coming up. I could see them going on, but Netflix, knowing Netflix and knowing the way they like to end things early with shows, I think that next season could be the final season of the Karate Kid when it's all said and done. Seeing Johnny and Daniel's son come together right now to defeat Kreese and Silver, that's what we're going to get next season. But you tell me again in the comment section what you think. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.